Ninjas, this is Randy. Wanted to give you an update on the technology stack as we're streaming to Facebook now for all worship services, and we're doing one every Sunday. But I'm going to do this I'm going to really try to get this done in under 4 minutes. So I'll go fast. Feel free to rewind and listen to it again if you need to. First off, we've upgraded ProPresenter 6 to ProPresenter 7 with a ton of new features. Some things you'll recognize immediately that Bank 3, channels 3 and 4 are the audio output of that PC that we're running that goes to the mixer. That's the same. We've added a new pickup to the piano, which is very cool. It's on Bank 1, channel 2, and it opened up that second bank, had a channel 2 as well for stereo. But this is much better sound quality. We're very happy with that. That's again channel 2 on the first bank. So just as before, the X32 audio is going through the power amp to the for the in-person worship with the congregation, and the ProPresenter is pushing the visuals in the text visuals for slides, and it can do images and that sort of thing. We split off that back wall monitor, the one that's the big 50-inch old Vizio, and now it's called a stage screen, and the only people watching it are the people in the chancel watching their lyrics. So it's the same lyrics that we're presenting here, very simple to operate. You just play it, you actually operate it exactly the same. Here's the lyrics that show here, and what's really cool about it is the lyrics on the next slide are showing in green in the bottom right, so they can see what's coming. So that timing between slides gets less critical. No audio to this output, but again, you just operate ProPresenter the same, and this just works. What we've also added now, in order to stream to Facebook, is a product called OBS. And it's a streaming software that uses an interface called NDI. Steve figured this all out, and it works really well. The audio output that we stream to the is proving to be very sensitive and very well and easily controlled. It's done by going to send on fader bus 4 on the X32. If you're not sure what that is, we'll do training. But someone with headphones on at that audio interface right there at the on top of the power amp, which where you can see that little box, and those headphones, the mix on send on fader 4, when they get whatever mix they do is what sends, and it is every scratch, every breath that those guys, and every instrument that every time they bump it, the signal's very clear, very strong going to the stream. It's much less forgiving than front of house, we've learned. That's a role that's critical. This same audio, again, the X32 audio to the front of house is the same as before. The visuals that are going from ProPresenter are the same text of the slides as I mentioned previously on these. It just shows up on the little box here, and underneath here, this is the video. This is the video that's either playing or that's being streamed from a camera. The camera we use, Steve found this thing. It's called a pan tilt zoom with a remote control, and it sits in the back corner right up above the door of the AV room. As you walk in the door, and this thing it's actually unbelievable. If you watch the worship services, we're doing that with one camera. Has a remote control. We ran a remote control lead into the AV room, so you can sit at a new computer that's called the OBS computer that takes this camera input straight through here. Notice it goes straight into OBS. It doesn't go to ProPresenter, and that's this video feed. Normally what you hear, you see Pastor Mike preaching, or you'd see various other things as the camera moves around the sanctuary is what you see here. So you have the praise band on the bottom down here, for example, when they're singing, and the lyrics showing here. So that's how we get the visuals in the sanctuary there, the lyrics and all through OBS to stream into this small box, and these are the same exact lyrics that are shown in these other spots. And then finally, this has become a critical mix on the audio. And finally, this is another really important thing to think about, and that is the camera. We have to have a camera operator running that camera. We're working on the division of duties now. We're going to get that better, and everybody will be trained that's interested in staying plugged in. It's a similar mix, but a much more critical mix. And these younger ears than mine's doing this mix because, as I said, every sound gets through. And these two over here, we could potentially have somebody mixing front of house in ProPresenter 7, but the truth is, I think we need 3 people running it until it's rock solid. We can probably do it with 2. This is an interesting slide to take a look at because it tells you how this thing stacks and what covers what up on these outputs. Video input would be something like if we plug that camera into ProPresenter, that would be the video input. Media covers it up. That would be images that we put on the screen, or if we played a video, it's considered media instead of through a camera. Then the slides, which are the lyrics and the scriptures, that sort of thing. And on top of that, we're not even using yet. It's called announcements and props. We'll touch more on that later. So with that, you got the vocabulary now. That the next video I'm going to do is going to be how to operate this thing on a worship service. This is the new screen for ProPresenter 7, and it's a doozy. So it's really well laid out. I think you're going to like it. Thanks, guys.